Hello and welcome to the zoominghooskpodcast, and I'm your host Dustin DaHusky, and I have friends over.
Hello, I am Lilia Roo.
Hey yo, it's Timburr here.
Hi, it's Kurdan Sourpuss.
Hi, I'm Ricky.
And welcome today. We got more guests.
Yeah.
Ah! Hopefully everyone's having fun so far.
No.
Oh, Cat's not having fun. Cat has no fun anymore.
No. I must paint. I hate you.
Yeah, we have to probably rethink
We're
some...
already fixing that.
Okay.
It's already been fixed.
Oh, you bought whatever you needed to buy?
I bought everything.
Oh, okay.
I bought all the things.
Good. So, this has been birthday weekend for Hoosk,
Aw.
and today is Hoosk Day. So, Hoosk Day.
Why is today Hoosk Day?
Because it's Hoosk's Day. Because it's birthday.
Today is official. That's right.
Yes.
Okay. So today
Because...
is I thought maybe today was like official, like Hoosk Appreciation Day or something.
It can be a Hoosk
That
Appreciation
can be.
Day.
Okay.
But, yay, I leveled up.
Yay.
So now I'm leveled up Hoosk.
When is National Husky Day anyway? Anybody know?
I hope there's a National
Didn't
Husky
realize
Day.
There
was
has to
national-
be. Find it.
I'm looking it up right
Because
now.
if there is, I want my triangles petted.
Oh God, yeah.
I want my snoot and my husky triangles to be petted
Ah.
and then told I am a good boy.
But I put
That's
your
some
triangles all the time.
Yes, you do.
Okay, there, then don't complain.
I don't get a Hoosk Day. Except for today.
When
But
is
no
when
other
is
Hoosk
National
Day.
Hoosk Day.
I'm looking it up currently.
You're slow.
I know.
You're slow.
So I had something
Yeah.
just like completely off the cuff. What's the best candy? Discuss. Best candy.
Pop Rocks.
I haven't had those in so long.
They're so good, and they haven't changed them much.
Pop Rocks?
They're like unchanged. You would expect them to be mixed like strawberry yogurt with pineapple, but they haven't. They haven't changed them.
Oh, you mean flavors?
Yeah, they're all like still like very unchanged.
Huh.
Most of them are still pretty much the same. The only thing that changed is maybe the packaging.
Like Twizzlers. Is
The
fucking,
price?
Yeah, the price.
The price?
They
Well, that's everything.
Twizzlers has gone fucking apeshit. They have like
have different types of
they have
Twizzlers.
golden Twizzlers based off of Wonder Woman, for God's sake.
What the fuck?
I know, what the hell does it even taste
That
like?
makes no sense.
What is
Why?
hair?
It tastes like
It
Tastes like her hair.
It tastes like justice. Yeah.
It tastes like justice.
What
no.
does that taste like? Oh, we have to find
By the
out.
way, January 2nd.
By the way, what?
What?
By the way, January 2nd, National Hoosk Day.
January 2nd.
That's coming up.
That's the day after New Year's.
Oh,
Yes.
good.
Oh, it's easy to
Mark it
remember.
on your calendars, everybody. Sorry.
I have now 2 Hoosk days,
No.
and now I am very, very happy.
Well, when's
You're
National
very
Cat
important
Day,
now.
then?
There is an International Tiger Day.
There is. And I think it was, what, last month?
I think so. Yeah.
What about Roo Day? Is there a Roo Day?
I'm looking.
Every day is Roo Day.
Every day.
Every day is Roo Day.
Hop to it.
Woo!
I see you're taking from your leader, Renegade Roo.
He's not my leader.
He's the leader of the Roos, just like Humps is the leader of the Snaps.
Humps.
So what about your favorite candy?
My favorite candy, oh my god.
Or what is the best candy? The bestest
That is
candies.
Pixie sticks.
Roo says pixie sticks.
I don't know, just for me, I guess it would have to be Tootsie Rolls.
I can see
Especially
that. I
like
can
the
feel it.
flavored
I
ones.
vibe with that.
Oh,
I love
okay.
it.
Because I could just eat those
Oh,
like
yeah.
all just
And they're
constantly
soft.
over
They're
and
fresh.
over.
They're soft.
And then it's like, and then next thing you know, I'm sick, and I'm just like, why the fuck did I do that?
Like the perfect
My
amount of
stomach
chewy.
hates me now.
Yeah, they are chewy.
But what flavor, blue or orange?
Out of those two specifically, so I mean, out of vanilla or orange, oh shit.
Is that what?
It's so hard to decide.
Because vanilla's really good. I do like the orange.
Okay, what about the brown one? I forgot what that
That's
one is.
chocolate.
No, it's a different brown
Oh,
one.
I
It's
it
know what
caramel?
you're talking about.
It's that, what, poop?
And we've gone there.
Yay!
It's now
We've
shitcast.
always figured out a way to make this podcast to shitcast, and
We went right
5
to
minutes
shit.
in, that's a record.
We are potty mouths.
They're potty mouths. There's one fun reason why I like Pop Rocks is if you put it in a aluminum soda can, and it sounds like war because it pops and the aluminum can accentuates the pop. Kind of weird and cool at the same time.
I can actually imagine just like one giant pop rock just kicking the other one into the can. Just like
Like 300?
yes.
Like this is Sparta?
This is all sugar.
Right up.
This is Splenda.
Oh Lord.
So did you say best candy yet?
I don't know. I'm kind of like equal to all candy as long as it can get into my muzzle at this point.
Oh.
Yeah. I get it. I'm actually a toss up between Skittles and Starburst.
Ooh.
Oh.
I would
Those
say
are both
full on
good.
Skittles, but Skittles, I've had so much bad luck with stale ass Skittles.
Really?
They're
I
like
haven't.
so hard that like they want like almost chip your teeth.
Aw, that sounds like a nightmare. It's like
And-
you enjoy something, you put it in your mouth,
Did you know that
and then you chip your tooth.
if you buy stale candy at Walmart, you can go right to the customer service counter and return it. Open, eat it, and be like, "This is stale."
I feel like chewing a rock, and then
Yeah.
you just like spit it out, and then it can be a rock.
Yeah, you can literally return. You can
Holy
actually
shit.
return watermelons without even bringing them back to the store,
What?
as long as you have it on the receipt.
That you brought a watermelon.
Because we don't want it.
Well, I guess,
Back
because
in the store.
that's produce, so.
Yeah,
How
This
is it a
watermelon has a
return?
hole in it.
you buy it, you take it home, you eat it. You come back, you say this watermelon was shit. I want a refund or another watermelon, and they're like, all right.
Do you have proof that this watermelon has not been tainted?
It doesn't matter. We don't want it back.
Yeah, this watermelon appeared to disappear after it was set out around some of my family members.
This
This-
watermelon attacked my car.
This watermelon became sentient, and I don't want to go into details.
I tried to make a jack-o'-lantern out of a watermelon and it didn't turn out. Can I get my money back?
I don't know if you want to tell them that.
Well, depending on who's working, they
You
might not
just
care.
say it was a bad watermelon.
Just say it's a bad one. Don't tell it.
I poured it in my dungeon. and
I
told
made
them
it. I
was a
drilled this.
bad watermelon.
I drilled a special hole in it.
You drilled it.
I drilled a special hole in
And then
it,
you
and then
eat
drilled
around
it
the
again.
Okay, so what about the worst candy?
I have a distinct hate for candy corn.
Yes.
Oh no.
I can certainly agree.
Hurts my teeth just putting it in my mouth.
See, the main reason why I do is because
like it.
I got jump scared as a child with the candy corn, and I remember the day like it wasn't like literally it wasn't yesterday.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, like, pretty much my mom just walks into the room and is just like, hey, what are you doing? We gotta, give out all this candy because it was like almost time for all the kids to trick or treat or whatever. And my uncle come out of nowhere. He didn't even announce that he was in the house. And he because I didn't get up as soon as my mother told me, he just threw a bucket of super hard candy corn at me in my sleep. So I'm just sitting there like, oh, okay. Candy corn is the
Devil.
Yeah.
Devil
Just
corn.
evil. Devil corn. I'm still haunted by the nightmares of that
Aww.
currently.
I'm
Oh, no.
sorry to hear that. And Big Cat likes candy corn.
I mean, it's alright. I mean, I'll have it.
It's not your first go-to.
It's not a go-to, but hey, come, Halloween or fall or whatever, it's like.
So what's the
candy
worst
corn.
candy then?
Ooh.
It's tiger colored.
Oh.
True. Well, sometimes it's black. Isn't like black, orange, and yellow?
I have not seen that.
And then orange, yellow, white.
I've seen the orange yellow. I have seen
There's a black
it's more
one,
like
too.
it's more like
I know
brown.
exactly what you're talking about.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
more like a brown orange
They have
and
candy corns in
white
the
or
shape of
something.
turkeys too. Turkey
I
corn.
have seen them in the shape of pumpkins.
Yes. Pumpkins
Yes,
as well.
I have seen that too.
Just orange and green.
Orange and green, yep.
What's that one candy that it seemed like I think it's taffy, but it's in the shape usually of like a pumpkin or maybe like a black cat or something, and it's like in the same wrapping as if you was to get a butterscotch or something, but usually when you get it, it's way too soft because it's way too warm, and it's just it melts everywhere, including in your mouth, and it's just no, it's raw. I can't physically or mentally endure that anymore.
Worst candy? Worst candy?
I think.
It's not to say that I absolutely hate it, but it's something that I feel is more work than it needs to be, is candy buttons on paper. And what I
I know what
those.
you're talking about.
And I actually don't mind the candy itself. I just hate the idea that, okay, looks like I gotta eat a bunch of candy buttons. You have 2 ways of eating it. Well, really 3, but you could either A, get candy buttons, get a bowl. Take your buttons and start flicking them off of the paper backing onto a bowl. Now you have enough candy buttons to enjoy more than just one button at a time.
Mm-hmm.
You're still going to find paper on some of the backs. Even if you try to carefully do that, you're going to get some paper. Then if you eat it directly off the paper, you might get paper. Or even if you were just to peel one at a time.
And you've had a lot of bad luck eating paper in general.
Yeah,
I fed you paper.
yeah.
What?
What the hell?
That sounds
I
like such a
fed
cat
it,
thing.
it does sound like a cat thing, but
I fed you paper.
I fed my Hoosk paper. When we were dating, I made you pizza, and it was served on a paper plate.
I didn't think too much about it.
He didn't think too much about it, except he ate the paper.
I think it was thick. It was thick deep dish pizza on
Yes.
So that's actually the whole concept, or the whole context behind it. Ordinary pizza, if it's thin sliced, you could, eat with
Handle it.
knife and fork, but you really don't need to eat pizza with knife and fork. You just put it in your hand, put in your mouth, done. But when you have Chicago style deep dish pizza, you're gonna definitely need. Okay, so you can actually make it into a burrito and eat it that way.
Oh, yes.
But I'm not from Chicago. I'm from Milwaukee, so I'm going to eat it the way I think I should eat it. So, knife and fork. Well, knife and fork on a paper plate. You cut the pizza, then you cut the plate. And then I noticed there was a nice triangular hole in the
Triangle.
bottom of the
Triangles,
plate.
of course. It all
Of course.
goes back to triangles.
And
It goes back
I
to
discovered
triangles,
that
of
there is a piece missing. I could not find that piece. And I knew that one piece of pizza felt really, really weird. And I only noticed it after the fact when I looked down and saw the piece missing. I'm like, I ate paper.
Oh no.
Roo, worst candy?
Whoppers.
Whoppers.
Like
Whoppers.
I
Yeah,
do
Those
not
aren't
like
really
them.
that good.
Every
agree.
time I decide, okay, maybe I'll like Whoppers now, I have like 1 or 2 or 3, and I'm like, I feel worse after eating this than I did before. This is anti-candy.
I mean, it's.
I feel like a fresh Whopper is better than an old steel one because for some reason I can tell the difference
they rock
between.
hard. They get
Yeah.
rock hard. And it is chocolate covered malt,
Yeah.
which isn't really. It doesn't even scream candy to me anyway.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
But they market it as candy.
It's just what you fill the trick-or-treating bag with when
Yes.
all the other candy is
Yep.
gone. It's just filler.
Unfortunately, those people probably get their houses egged.
They should get their houses Whoppers. Like, just
Oh,
get all
God.
Whoppers no one wants to eat. Chuck it at the wall. and you
Melt
just
it
have
first. Melt it
Yes.
first.
Embedded into concrete and brick.
You're never going to get that, like, completely out of
Our
your
house
siding.
is covered in malt and chocolate.
Did you see the Silversteins? They got TP'd. Well, what about our neighbors? Oh, they got
Worse.
molted.
Worse. Worse than TP.
One was flung through the picture window into their kitchen.
Oh, no.
Good old Tommy was having good cereal and
Oh, no.
it's all on his face now.
So I'm going to have to go with, and I'm probably going to get some flack for this, if people even know what I'm talking
Flacked
about.
by malt.
No, yes, possibly. Candy cigarettes.
Okay, I'll let you
I've
give me
never
that.
had those actually, just because I couldn't find them.
It's
Yeah.
like,
They're kind of like bland. Like, it's just like...
what does it even taste like?
Which kind though? There's 2 different kinds that.
The ones that don't smoke.
Okay, I'm about to say because
The ones you don't smoke.
Well, I mean, one you can actually blow like kind of a sugary
Yeah.
dust out of it.
yeah,
Huh.
And the other
is
one
like-
just
Okay, that's kinda
looks
cool.
like a pack of cigarettes and just tastes like stale mint
yeah,
sticks.
yeah.
The French chocolate cigarettes.
No, they're probably way better.
Well, obviously
These
it's
taste
chocolate.
like
And it's
shitty.
French.
That's French.
The ones I'm talking about taste like shitty dinner mints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
They just they're awful.
And then you're also dealing with paper and candy, and they're individual wrapped pieces, and you got to take the piece of paper out. So it's like buttons.
Yeah.
You have extra work. You just
And if
wanna
you're a
enjoy
Hoosk,
candy.
you just eat the paper.
At this point, I'm just gonna if I have a cart, if I have a pizza, I may just eat through the box.
And depending on the candy cigarettes, they don't even look like cigarettes.
No.
They're like thin and just white. Like,
There's one
What?
side where you can see a seam.
See, the thing is about
Like it-
those.
it's just pointless.
Like, I don't know. The thing is about those candies, though. The main part that I used to love about it is like the different characterized boxes.
Yes.
Because you have like a Spider-Man one, you have a Simpsons one, and then it's like you could just collect them, and I love that.
Oh, nice.
See, it's just so good. It's so
Yeah.
good.
So I have another question for anybody here. Are you furry trash?
Yes.
Big time.
The cat says yes.
Yes.
Why? Why are you furry trash?
Why am I furry trash?
What the heck? In fact, no. Before.
Well, actually, we should define
yeah.
furry
What,
trash.
what does furry trash mean to you?
What does it mean to me? A lot of just furry paraphernalia. It's basically your life.
There's nothing but furry.
Nothing but furry. Pretty much the way you discovered it was like how a lot of people did, and how I discovered furry was through porn.
And by accident. A lot of people.
Honestly,
discover
by
that.
purpose. It was
Did
because
you?
it was like, oh, this is hot. I'm gonna fap to it, and then it's like, oh, there's like, okay, you know, and then after being like a brony for a while, it was like, oh.
And now they've
And
merged.
well, yeah. Well, it's like after being a brony for a while, it was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll like get into like the furry fandom, and well, I'm basically more furry now than brony, and now brony I don't even give a shit about.
That's a huge mood.
I don't even give a shit about brony stuff anymore. It's kind of dead. Well, it kind of died when the show ended, so yeah.
I felt that.
Anybody else furry trash? Are you?
So,
Roo?
I guess the way I would define it is, I guess, how many furry-related thoughts you have per day. Like, how embedded is it in your brain? Like, I
would
know
agree.
for me, where at least I used to write. I haven't written anything in a long time, but the amount of
I
times...
feel that.
I do too.
I feel that, bro.
I do
College
too.
killed it for me.
I actually...
College actually helped me with that, and like I actually did that a lot during college. But then once that ended, and when I moved to Madison, it kind of just
That's how I officially got into
stops.
furry, was through writing.
Oh, nice.
I wrote fan fictions of my characters in Skyrim.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I had heard about furry like in 2002, 2003 from people that I played like online MMOs with, and it was always just in passing, and it was always something derogatory and negative. And I would always just kind of, oh yeah, but I had no idea. I didn't know what they were really talking about. I never researched it. I may have looked it up once, and it didn't really click with me, I guess. And, but yeah, furry trash.
Well, personally, because I am basically a trash doggo. I mean, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's just one of those things where you're just like, wow, look at my life. Yeah, I am most definitely furry trash. I mean, other than that, that's, yeah, I'm just furry trash.
I'm going to say that I'm not furry trash. I feel like at this point in my life, I'm part-time furry.
You best explain yourself.
I guess because of my...
Says the one who has a fursuit too.
Yeah, that doesn't make you official furry.
It squeaks.
It squeaks.
It does squeak. I love going to conventions. And I'm not saying that I'm quitting the fandom, because I'm definitely not. I'm far from that.
Oh fuck no, I don't think I am.
I'm
either.
not other people we know that say they quit and then
I'm quitting this fandom,
Yeah.
and then
not
it's
naming
like
anyone.
seconds.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'll have to ask later.
I'm part-time Spidey, so
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I can't deny
Makes
my
sense, I
Spidey
suppose.
self.
Why not be both?
Why not be both? Why not?
Why not both?
Why not?
Is there anything worse than being furry?
Mormon?
I have friends that are Mormon now. Mainstream Mormon? Or
I have a friend who used to be Mormon, and he says it sucks.
Mainstream Mormonism is not bad. The ones that multiple marriage.
Well, the thing is, though, they also wear special underwear.
Mormons do?
Yeah. They wear special underwear that's like covers pretty much your whole body.
Is it tailor made?
Probably. But it's special, these special undergarments that they have to wear.
Dustin, worst thing than being furry? Go.
Worst thing than being furry.
Is there something? Is there such a thing, or is furry the worst?
I'm sure there's obviously something out there that's much, much worse.
What is it?
Oh. You're gonna have to come back to me on
Okay.
that.
What's worse than being furry? Roo.
I guess I don't really have an answer.
There's nothing worse than being furry.
Oh,
You
I
heard it
guess
here, folks.
you could say not being a furry is worse, but
Normies.
that's
I
probably
will agree.
the
Normies.
why would you say that type
I
of
agree.
answer?
I agree.
Wholeheartedly.
Normies are worse than furries.
How are you supposed to explore who you are when you don't have a made-up thing that doesn't exist, that is absurd,
That
you represent
represents,
yourself with?
yeah, some of the best parts, the best qualities of you. Why not? I get
Or
it.
it doesn't even have to be a part of you. It could be like who you want to be, or
He has red hair in his persona.
Not really.
Yes,
It's
you
still,
do.
No, it's not red.
Isn't it? Well, it's blonde.
No, it's like
Light brown?
brownish. Yeah.
I always thought it was kind of reddish.
No, it's brownish.
But it looks so much like you.
Exactly. That's the point.
Yeah, it's a first.
That's like why. That's kind of how I designed him. Really, it's just
Right. I mean, I look at your persona. That's really the first
'Cause-
time I've seen an art of you.
Oh.
And I'm immediately like, oh, that's definitely him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
me.
no piercings. I haven't gotten piercings yet in real life, but
That's okay.
I debated on it.
What's worse than being furry?
Hey,
And normie.
well, the only thing that comes to mind is stepping on the Lego.
That's pretty awful.
Yeah, or stubbing your toe first thing in the morning. You know,
on your bed frame.
yes.
I like where you went with this.
See, of course it goes to Pops, but still,
Poor Pops.
it's evil. Everything is evil.
Hmm.
Everything in the morning is evil.
Yeah.
Okay, I figured one out. And really, nothing against you,
Me?
or as someone out there as a listener. Although, if you are, you're furry. And if you're a normie, you're a normie. I think what's worse than being a furry, it is the most interesting lifestyle I have ever encountered and experienced. You see so many different people that you grow to love, get to understand, and then get to know.
Mm-hmm.
You see all these amazing other people throughout the states, throughout the world, conventions, helping people, helping charities. That's incredible. What's worse than being a furry? Now, yeah, normie, because, well, we kind of, make fun of some of you. But at least you still do something fun. I think what's worse than being a furry is someone that does nothing for fun. Doesn't have an interest, doesn't have anything keep him occupied, no goals to push him to do something different, to do something fun. Those that literally just have nothing to do, and they may be fine with just that, but I kind of find that to be kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not a furry, you might be a model railroader or something like that, or you might like books. You have an interest beyond furry as well. So that makes each individual person unique and interesting. But someone that doesn't find any enjoyment in anything, I just find kind of sad. That they absolutely don't care about anything else. That's what I think is worse than being a furry is someone that does nothing with their time.
And I'm going to say the worst than being a furry, is getting splashed back by your own torpedo in the toilet. Yeah, getting splashed back by a torpedo in the toilet. Which I just did today.
You just did a depth charge.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was
I just
awful.
sank the U-20. Parts of it came back up to meet me. Excuse us, we're all stuffing our faces with pizza because we're all
course.
very hungry.
Why not?
What else is there that we could perhaps have fun discussions with?
Shopping as Spidey.
Shopping as Spidey. Okay, so
I actually had this thought of like getting in suit Actually, because I went out to get the mail in Spidey the other day. I had the suit on, and I was like, I'm not going to take this off just to go out and get the mail. Just to come back in and take more pictures. So I went out to Spidey, got the mail, waved at a few cars that went by.
Did you at least wear a robe?
No,
Oh, you should have wear a robe next time.
it was too hot.
Oh.
And, yeah, it was too hot.
I would have maybe went a step further, wear a robe, and maybe have a coffee mug and just kind of sip it. Have some cars drive by, you kind of like give them the coffee mug nod as they drive by and whatnot. It's like, oh hey, how's it going? Maybe have a heart on. Hey man, I'm just Spidey.
This ruins so many little kids' dreams. They just ride past in the car, just be like, "Mommy, look,
It's Spider-Man.
Oh no!
And then there's the bulge.
oof."
Giving birth to an entire generation of more fetish,
Yeah.
hungry people.
So you're going shopping as Spidey.
Yeah,
Should do it.
I couldn't go to my own Walmart.
That'd be weird.
I mean, I could. I don't know anybody on second shift. None of them know me.
Would you get trouble doing so?
I mean, I'm wearing a mask technically, so
That's true.
I mean, at this point, so
I could put a mask over the mask.
now that's called fashion statement right there. Because back in the day, there were these things called, well, fursuiting at a Walmart. There's not much to it. You just go to a Walmart, you fursuit at it, you take a video.
Yep.
You already break two of Walmart's rules immediately.
Camera.
One of them is camera, because you're
Yep.
not allowed to take any video recording of a Walmart, which I don't understand why, but okay.
Yet you,
What?
personally, did the camera work, didn't you?
On one video, yeah. And I was told multiple times to stop recording, and
And
As
what
a good
and
person
what
of
was your
society-
response?
I kept recording.
For science.
And,
For posterity.
yeah. And the other one is wearing a mask or having your face hidden while in store. However,
That's true. I couldn't do it. They
however,
wouldn't allow me to.
get this though. Walmart has now made it mandatory. I don't know about all stores across the country, but obviously in Wisconsin. Earlier this past month, they made it mandatory that all people must enter the store with a mask on.
Yeah.
So now their face is anyway hidden. So what's the
Well,
real point?
Partially hidden.
Partially hidden. Still, you,
I'd have to take down the mask.
Well, that's
so there'd be little point to do it then.
that's literally probably why I was just able to walk in with my pup hood, just straight into Walmart.
Did you wear your pup hood?
Holy shit.
Yeah, I've done it a couple of times now.
Which Walmart? Not the one over here.
No, not the one that's
Then it doesn't
nearby.
matter. You need to come into my Walmart.
See, I will do that. And then just you know, be a puppers.
Be puppers at my Walmart.
See, yeah, because the last time I went to a Walmart and I was in hood, I scared a little girl.
Aw.
Like, I just so happened to turn around and she dropped something and I picked it up and I had my actual jacket hood over my hood on, and as I lifted up, she was like, "Thank you," mid sentence.
Oh no.
Just screamed and I felt so bad. I was like, "Oh no, okay." So it just walks away.
See, it comes to mind to me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, like, it was me, my best friend, her girlfriend, my best friend's mother,
Mhm.
and we was just out just, like, doing random stupid shit. In hood.
Yeah.
So it was, like, it just made it worse.
The only thing that comes to mind, I'm not bashing anybody with a hood because I want to get a pup hood. that's the next thing I'm getting is a pup hood.
Yeah.
Pup hood. Me. But I think of Kage. What's the thing he said? Where the mother was protecting her children. She said,
Let's see.
No, that was actually Alkali.
Yeah, it was Alkali.
Was it
Alkali
Alkali said that?
noticed
Or
Rakesh.
notice.
oh,
Rakesh and someone else were in Puphoods. They were just walking around the first squared lobby,
that's right.
and a woman with her child, who probably wasn't no older than 12 years old, they were having fun as far as he could tell,
Yep.
because she was hugging other fursuits.
Right.
However, of course, she sees a dog face. Of course, she wants to give him a hug. However, she went up to Rakesh and his friend in Puphoods. Then her mother stops her and says, "No, no, no, sweetie, not those doggies. Those doggies are dirty." However,
Rude.
it's rude. However,
rude.
Rakesh and his friend laughed so hard about it because it's true to a certain degree. But they laughed about it so much that they decided we can make that a title to a panel.
Yeah.
And for many years, they made a panel called "Don't Touch Those Doggies, They're Dirty," and it's about their many adventures of Boys Town in North Chicago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that spawned a pretty funny panel regarding
good.
their experiences
Talk
in that
about
neighborhood.
doing a positive spin out of a negative thing. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
As far as Puphoods go, I think they're pretty fun looking. And we have Ricky. He owns a Puphhood, and so does Timburr. Timburr
I've
also
never seen a
owns
Puphhood.
many Puphoods.
Yeah.
How long have you had it for?
Yeah, for a while. But I don't really take many pictures of it.
No.
But it is on my After Dark. After Dark. After Dark.
After dark.
And Timburr, how long have you had a Puphhood for?
Roughly 5 to 6 years.
So it sounds like it sounds like you have a lot of experience regarding Puphoods,
Yes.
what to exactly buy or where to buy them.
Well, yes and no, because I'm like, for a long while, I was like biased on where I would get my own Puphoods personally. Of course, I would like go to Mr. S Leather, or actually, that's pretty much the only one. Because I mean, with the new surface of Puphoods popping up on like Wish or Amazon or stuff like that, I actually bought some from there because I mean they're cheaper. The quality though is way worse.
Yeah.
Where?
From like Amazon
from, like,
or Wish
Oh.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah.
it's like one thing that I always try to stress, like when somebody be like, "Hey, I want to try to buy a Puphhood," I'm like, pay for quality. Because I mean,
So what does a good quality pup hood cost for
roughly,
people like me that have not even I haven't priced anything, so I have no idea.
to be completely honest, roughly what
They
maybe
can get up there.
Like 80 to
Price.
$100.
like starting at
Maybe.
200 maybe.
200 for a hood?
Well, if you
Oh,
want to
wow.
get
Oh.
no, that kind of sounds more along the lines of like if you
A
want to do
custom?
custom.
Yeah.
Because I
But I
have
would.
seen.
I'd like to get it.
Because I do know
close to-
someone who does make. They make custom hoods, like they look like your typical pup hood, but it's like you can make it just like anything.
Yeah.
Like you get like I could even get one that's like a tiger, but it's like the shape and style is similar to that of a pup hood, but it's gonna also cost me like $700 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
Because
Expensive.
yeah, but that's custom. If it's like base, I mean, I think probably
I mean,
I want to be generous. I'm
180.
thinking like between 100 and 200.
Yeah,
If you want to just get basic, no custom bullshit.
yeah. Because I know it's a store that's here, that's in Milwaukee, that sell Puphoods for about $40. I mean, granted, it's the Wish or Amazon type hood, but I mean, $40 just to have like variety in color or whatever the case. So I mean,
So if it's not custom, we're talking what?
if it's not custom, I would.
I mean, they can still be up there in price.
They can.
And there's different like styles of
Like
pup
150, 160.
I could say, at the least, maybe 120.
Yeah, I mean ballpark. I mean, yeah, like I can't think offhand, but I want to say like between 100 and 200.
Yeah, yeah, most
It
definitely.
just depends on like what color you pick and
The
if
style
it's
of the-
custom.
Okay.
Yeah.
The style, like the style or shape or whatever of the pup hood, because not all of them look like that. that coverall, like it. Not all of them just cover your entire head. Like there's some
Right.
that's just like a mask, basically,
And there are some of the
or it's just the muzzle and
right.
That's
I was
about
gonna
it.
Say, like some of the muzzles, aren't they like removable?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the muzzles are.
All of
You
them.
can-
Or?
Well, not technically all of them. I know a few that's like a different dog species of a hood that doesn't
Right.
remove
Yeah.
the muzzle, but usually if you go for the standard one, yeah, you could like remove the muzzle and such and switch them out, change them up, be cute puppers.
Dustin, are you gonna get a pup hood now?
Do it.
I know you
Older
tried
mean,
to get one.
I tried to get one off Amazon. And
Really? Oh.
I think I got scammed because it never came. Definitely charged, but it never came.
When was this? How long ago was this?
This was March.
Huh.
So yeah, if it's coming in the mail, it's yeah, it ain't coming in.
Yeah. Like, to be honest though, because I know a few furries that has wanted to be, that was curious about the pup play scene and just like totally went for it. Like for example, I just like kind of spoken with, or not spoken with technically, Twitter, Twitter miscellaneous stuff with Odin Wolf. And
Okay,
he just recently got a new pup hood that matched his Sona. So I was like, oh snap, that's cool. And he was like, hey, yeah, your hood is cool too. I was like, yeah, puppy points. There's one piece.
And then there's some pizza right over here as well.
Whoa, I
We got cheese.
know the Roo took the last pizza, that pizza.
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna kill him now.
So
No,
I'm gonna eat
As-
kangaroo now.
as far as we've seen in the fandom, both local and abroad, we do see members of our community, the furry community, are also wearing pup hoods. And
You want one?
because
Do you want
it's not to say that pup hoods equal a fursuit, but it achieves the same end goal of you transform into something that you're not. A fursuit does that incredibly well, and I'm assuming a pup hood does that too. There seems to be a form of what you would call it, a community intersection, or like a community splice. I'm trying to figure a better word to describe this, but we obviously see the pup hoods have definitely invaded the furry fandom. They're not going to leave anytime soon, but to many people, they seem to really enjoy them, and it probably helps accentuates the furry community. What since you've had these puppets for a very, very long time, and you've been a furry for a long time as well, can you explain the inter-community cooperation between the two?
Well, to be completely honest, like in in a way, I see me as a puppy as I would see me as a furry. And a lot of people don't like to mix or splice them in any way.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I mean, I can see why. Because, I mean, you look at pup play, people see it as, you know, oh, that's you know, that's just dirty, that's just, hey, that's only sex oriented, you know, whatever have you.
Right.
And I mean, what I would say to that is, like, you know, in every community or in every fandom, there's what I would say NSFW portion of it, and there's a safe word, you know, portion of it. And like, to, you know, for a few people that, you know, just be like, hey, no, I think the pup thing is just like wrong. I kind of just look at it and I'd be like, well, that's kind of hypocritical, because I mean, you know, liking all your good gifts and such, and it's just like, hey, guess what? I mean, no matter what way you try to, you know, look around it, it's still like, this is like sexual. And I mean, it's the same concept at the end of the day to me. Just like, okay, you have a pup hood, you're basically, you know, you go bark bark, you're pretending to be a doggo.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, same thing with a fursuit or, you know, whatever have you. Like, I always seen the pup hood in this, like, in all its, you know, puppy gloriness. I seen the pup hood as a fursuit just without the fur.
Right.
I mean, it's like, I mean, I can't express it enough. It's just literally the same concept to me. And it just baffles me how people, you know, could just give it such a bad rep and just, like, be like, hey, yeah, you know, furries are so, you know, so wholesome.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, just puppies are just no, stay away from them.
I think it depends a lot on, like, how much prior content someone has seen. Like, for example, like with furry stuff, anthropomorphic animals are everywhere. How often do you really see someone in anything, whether it be like news or shows or anything at all, how often do you see someone with a pup hood on? Probably not at all. So people's only, I guess, I don't want to say experience, people's only knowledge of it are probably like the off chance someone messages them, hey, look at what these freaks are doing. So maybe that's what the difference in the
Like
conception comes from.
In a meme, kind of.
Yeah, like I see exactly where you're coming from. Where basically, like, the only light that people would most likely see a puppy in is in some type of form, a sexual, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where I'm trying to go at with it. Is that's probably how most people have only seen it as, because that's the only thing they've seen.
Yeah, I can see that, because I mean, it was the same way, like, when my mother first found out that I was a furry, she actually seen GIF. and yeah, she was like, oh, is that what it means to be a furry? Like, just being gay and dogs messing with other dogs? And I'm like, no. You just seen something that you wasn't supposed to be looking at my phone to see. So yeah, she kind of ambushed me one day after school, and she was like, "Give me your phone." And I was like, "Why?" And she was like, "Just give me your phone." Went through my history. I thought I had everything hidden, and then she went on Tumblr. Yeah.
Oh.
And this is before Tumblr got censored.
Yeah.
Wazoo.
Yeah. And yeah, yeah, that was a long talk.
Which is cool now, right?
Debatable.
Cooler.
Like, I mean, like, she
Understanding and semi-acceptable of it?
yeah, it's just, like, because she's as weird as me. So it's like, yeah, if you try to tell her it's different from what she already saw, though, she'll probably, like, turn it down completely. And, I don't know. That's my mother for you.
It is
Yeah.
very angry outside.
Yeah, it's. I think it's thundering out, and apparently Ricky mentioned that it is pouring like cats and dogs out there.
Like, worketh.
It's actually it's fascinating that it seems that the puppy community and furry community seem to be at polar opposites, which you would think between furry fandom and its negativity viewed in the media, and then you've got of course you've got gay pride parades, and of course sometimes you'll see that in newspapers, although Lilia makes a really good point that the puppy community isn't so well understood, not so well known, that people don't bat an eye to it so much. Maybe perhaps the puppy community doesn't want the bad stigma that we furries have, that if we say, the puppy community and the furry community are similar in their own aspects, they're afraid maybe that would spill some negativity on the puppy community. It's just a thought I was thinking. It's kind of like with maybe Brony community, where I somehow had gotten into an argument with another Brony back in the day. It was an argument I didn't want to start, but they felt embarrassed that that I made a comparison between both furry and Brony and the fact that they represent anthropomorphic characteristics and nothing more than that.
But you're right to a certain extent.
Yeah, I am actually correct on that. It's just they thought
To a
that
certain extent.
Brony was furry, and then they got totally butthurt with that. And I was saying, no, I didn't meant to say it like that. I'm saying that Brony and the furry communities both share the common trait of anthropomorphic qualities in an animal, and there's some truth to that.
Right.
And Bronies did not want to have the bad stigma that we furries had in the last 20 years regarding our sexual businesses.
Yeah, except bronies still get a bad stigma regardless.
And I think the stigma only started to grow. I think the Brony stigma started growing soon after, because this is kind of when the pony or the sorry, I'm getting all my words mixed up. The Brony community kind of began around the 2010 or 2011 period, and then it really ballooned up. 2010
is when the show first aired.
And I think it really hit its peak in 2013, 2014.
Yeah, that sounds
And I
about
think
right.
that's when a stigma was starting to be created about the Bronies. And I started noticing that less and less arguments between furry and Brony regarding that, they share similar qualities. That argument was being less and less debated over time, because I think they were understanding that a stigma was going to be created regardless on how well they police it. It's going to happen. It's all about how you handle it after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that initially Bronies wanted nothing to do with furries, and furries sort of didn't want nothing to do with Bronies, and I was that rare individual that kind of thought a bridge between the two could still exist.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a very, very narrow bridge, if you say that.
The thing about that, because I actually used to be a brony, so I know a lot about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, even early on in the fandom, in the brony fandom, when that started becoming a thing, like, you'd still find, like, I guess, quote-unquote, furry brony art. As in, you know, they might draw the characters with a more humanoid figure, and rather than just their canon feral look, even early on, and that would be defined as furry.
Oh yeah,
Technically.
most certainly.
And yet, yeah, there was still a whole thing like, oh, bronies don't want to be associated with furry because furries are gross, and it's like, yeah, but you guys also have your own weird shit that I have seen and have heard about. And the worst... Oh, do I want to talk about this?
I don't know. Do you?
There's something that immediately comes to mind when it's like ever hear like someone say, "Oh, bronies like want to disassociate with furries because furries are too weird and gross or whatever," and it's like, I don't know about that, there, Chief.
We are all weird in our own ways.
because that like immediately made me come to mind. I don't even know if I want to bring this up though.
It's up to you.
You don't have to.
Because it's really fucking gross.
How about I propose this to you? I have a question. What reignited the whole interest in bronies and My Little Pony? Like the reboot of the cartoon. When did that come out? When did the reboot?
The reboot originally, it first aired in, I think around like I can't remember, like around summer of 2010.
Okay.
When I got into it, it was actually during the summer after I graduated high school in 2011. So I was kind of going into college already, like, into the brony thing right off the bat.
Because like before that, when the original My Little Pony aired in like the late 80s, early 90s.
It was like the 90s, yeah, like when the last iteration, and then it just sort of died out.
Were there bronies from that generation of this
Not really,
show?
no.
So it really
This whole
from the reboot.
The newest iteration, and then, but it's like, that's not to say that even the brony fandom, they also, you know, would look at the original show in the 80s and the stuff from the 90s too, and they actually do.
I grew up watching the original My Little Pony.
I mean, actually, a lot of bronies do agree. Like the original show is like in the 80s was like so much better than like the next two generations after it, because it was so like watered down with pink. Whereas like the first one actually had like a sense of like adventure and stuff and terror.
Who's the lady that rebooted it? Single-handedly responsible for creating bronies.
Uh-oh.
Not Tara
Bronies
Strong. She is a. It's not
community?
Tara Strong.
Or the
No,
series?
Bronies is a community.
Well, she created
No, he's talking about like.
the lady that basically rebooted the series.
Oh, series, okay.
She is the creator of the Powerpuff Girls
Really?
and Foster's Home.
Really?
Oh,
wow.
That was my show.
Yeah, the thing. So she has like
Oh, that makes sense though.
credentials.
Because the Powerpuff Girls never had fingers.
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
Pseudo pony.
I'm trying to remember.
The Powerpuff Girls had hooves.
Yes.
This is like forbidden knowledge. I should not be
I
hearing
can't
this
believe
or
I
I will
never
die.
made that connection.
And they had big eyes.
Well,
Lauren Faust.
And they were cartoons.
And it was color coordinated.
Roo, you're amazing.
I actually found out the creator of the reboot that aired in 2010. It was Lauren Faust.
Okay, I remember that
And
name.
she made Powerpuff Girls. Well, actually, oh yeah, that's right. She is married to Craig McCracken, who did a lot of work on Foster's Home as well and Powerpuff Girls.
So what was your show?
Foster's Imaginary something.
Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
I
That was a
don't-
really
I've
good
never
show.
heard of that.
yeah. It was. Cartoon Network. I grew up on Cartoon Network.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me
So
too.
it was like everybody else was like, yeah,
Back when it was
Disney.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gone to shit now.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a few shows, and like,
But Spaghetti, I mean, come on.
true.
Spaghetti,
um,
not even a cartoon.
that's true. See, because when I think of Cartoon Network's like recent stuff, I think of the best shows that was on there was Gumball.
Yes.
Flapjack.
Yeah.
Flapjack. Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah.
Knuckles. Yeah.
Knuckles. Knuckles. Yeah.
And, so Gumball, Flapjack. Let's see, Adventure Time.
Yep.
Regular
Was
show.
Samurai Jack on there?
Samurai Jack used to be on Toonami, and like
Toonami.
technically that's still Cartoon Network, but it's like the adult / anime
Okay.
Adult Swim thing. But yeah, let's see. It's one more Chowder.
Chowder.
Yes.
Well, Spaghetti was on adult. He was on Adult Swim. He wasn't on
Wait,
Cartoon Network.
was he on Adult Swim?
I just see this curly-haired guy.
Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken.
That was good.
That was one of my favorite shows growing up, and I probably shouldn't have watched it. That's why I'm so messed up in the head. But
Metalocalypse.
yeah,
Aqua Team Hunger Force.
yeah. Oh, Squidbillies.
Squidbillies. Yep.
That used to be a good show too. See, I don't know, because everybody used to be like, "Yay, Disney Channel, yay, Nickelodeon." Which Nickelodeon had a lot of good stuff back in the day.
Right.
Cartoon Network, I feel like consistently had like some good shows, like Steven Universe.
Yep.
I love that show.
I still use a GIF from that show.
Man,
There's a GIF of all these kids like fighting a big giant. He like lifts up a sword. I'll find him.
I'm about to say.
He's like a huge knight. And they all like run in and they're like, nah. And they run out and then he like the sword comes down and it's just boss fights be like.
Right. I'm trying to play, what's that one game? It was the hardest game that I ever played. It was Bloodborne. I think. Bloodborne, maybe? I don't know. I couldn't get past, like, the pre-boss, the tutorial thing. And I gave up halfway.
It's a tutorial.
Did I just say that? I can't speak. I can't English, right? That's
I-
not my
But it's just
I
a
can
teaching
agree.
of the game.
Cartoons
Game.
back 20, 25 years ago had a lot more character, had a more adult feel to it, and I think adults over time felt these cartoons from their generation. You've got Tom and Jerry, you've got, the Looney Tunes and whatnot, and there's some moderate, good amount of violence going on, but we all know that it's meant for a cartoon. We would never act upon it because we're not that stupid. Although maybe kids today, they're probably stupid enough to attempt it.
He's like, well,
Do it for the TikTok.
And then suddenly now, these same these same kids that grew up to be parents, eventually look at the cartoons as they evolve. Suddenly, they're asking, what the hell are you watching? And I wouldn't be surprised that if thousands of parents across this country complained to channel networks that why are these shows are on. Like, there's some shows like Rocko's Modern Life, which I thought was fantastic.
was a good show.
Oh yeah.
And there's certain scenes that is quite questionable, but it's something that for a kid would go right over their heads, and it's supposed to be something for adults to enjoy.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's the adults that actually found displeasure of watching it. The kids thought the show was great, and those same kids that grew up that watched the show again enjoyed as an adult, saying, "Oh, I totally had that fly over my head," like when SpongeBob came out.
SpongeBob.
The first 3 seasons were incredibly adult orientated.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the stuff that they talked about went right over my head because I was young. I was only 6 or 7 years old. So a lot of the stuff I didn't get until I'm an adult now. Which makes it enjoyable, as when you look at some of these older episodes, you realize these guys are geniuses.
To be honest, like, because, I mean, if you look at the whole premise of, like, SpongeBob, it's just like, okay, you got, you know, your cast, you got SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy Cheeks.
Squidward.
You have Mr. Krabs, and they're all in Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like, it's just like they just had all this, and they just, they're pure genius. I don't know. Other than that, I don't think there's any other show I could, like, actively say that they're doing the same exact thing that they've been doing with the, like, show series. Because, I mean, reboots of today is, like, trash.
Yeah.
I love that you brought up Tom and Jerry, too, because that struck a huge nerve with me, because I watched Tom and Jerry growing up.
Same.
But I watched a lot of the 1950s, 60s.
70s.
Well,
Did they only go into the 60s?
if you Google it, there's a timeline of different art styles. Because it wasn't always obviously drawn by the same artist. But Rex...
Quinty?
No.
Oh.
What was his name?
I'm not sure.
And anyway,
the violence was so much worse
back then.
in the earlier episodes.
Yeah.
You look at it now, and it's so dumbed down. And
It's watered down.
Oh, it's so watered down. I mean, like, back in the 50s, 60s, Jerry's like, the one episode that always, like, stuck in my mind is Tom somehow getting his head wedged in a pool table, and Jerry somehow makes him swallow every ball.
Pool
He
ball.
knocks it into there.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like,
Doesn't it get lodged in his throat and his neck
he
extends?
like hits him in the back of the head to like knock out the 8-ball or something.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fucking violent.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about the same series, like, back in
Literal
the day
slapstick.
Yeah.
that had, like, some really, like, really dark episodes at some point. Like, if Tom or Jerry was depressed, it would, like, go into a whole drunken fit or, you know, whatever have you. And it's like, oof, looking back on it.
Yeah. And this is also during a time when drunken fits were in society in the 50s and 60s in this country was almost considered taboo talk, that a lot of people didn't like talk about it. And the only way they can discuss it or, you know, have a feel for it is through a cartoon. That was the only way they can actually get their frustration out. And it's funny that a lot of my coworkers are much, much, much older. They're in their 60s. They talk about how cartoons these days are all violent. And I, like, kind of do like a Jackie Chan, like, what? Kind of look of, what are you talking about? The very cartoons you grew up in the 50s and 60s were much, much worse in terms of physical violence, as far as physical animated violence.
And they used to play those cartoons before films.
Exactly.
In theaters. Yeah. They don't even do that shit anymore.
And that's with kids too. It doesn't matter if it's a if it's a movie meant for adults or for kids. They'll play that anyway.
Yep.
Is that why older people are more violent?
Maybe.
It's a reason why they're holy crikey.
I just find it amazing that someone says, "Oh, well, your kid's generation, I don't understand it. It's all violence and, you know, it's all pretty disgusting." And I can think of the Flintstones, and back in their original series, or in their first few seasons, their main sponsor was Winston Cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although this was meant for an adult audience, kids still watched it. And I think it was one of the first although smoking cigarettes, you really shouldn't smoke when you're young anyway.
They had doctors advertising smoking
Yeah.
Yep.
in the 50s.
And I think maybe
This was back when you could, watch cigarette commercials
Yeah.
that are for cigarettes, not, these PSAs that you see nowadays.
Yeah.
try a Winston cigarette with a micronite filter, which is also made out of asbestos, but not many people knew about that.
Asbestos.
So then not only are you smoking and putting in tar and uranium into your body, you're also breathing in asbestos too at the same time.
Yep. That's always fun.
Oh my goodness.
I just think that shows these days for kids can certainly handle any cartoon that there's out there. Because if you visit Grandma and Grandpa, they're going to put on the best 50th anniversary Looney Tunes special VHS and the VCR. Because I have it somewhere laying around here. Somewhere. And even growing up, even when cartoons and Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network were starting to change to a more softer demographic that parents are now saying, hey, a lot of this stuff is just too weird, and networks started listening, my grandparents were like, oh, yeah, let's watch some cartoons. And then here it is, Tom and Jerry flinging frying pans at each other and making an imprint with a cooking pan with Tom's face.
Like the bump that just grows out and out
Yep.
and out.
God. The huge
Yes.
knot.
With the
The
sound
huge
effect.
knot on the head.
Right. See, it's funny that you say that because I remember just like small memories of going to my grandparents' house and just be like, I'm bored, and they'll like put on so many different VHSs of like different cartoons. Like, even though I wasn't like born like in the 1990s, 1980s, I guarantee I could recall every single cartoon or episode that came from that era.
Right.
And it was fun.
It's a fun, nostalgic moment.
Right. It was like really nice. Like, definitely would do again.
Aww.
It's so great that they introduced you to that stuff too.
Yeah.
You're cultured.
Am I?
You're more well-rounded.
More cultured than I am. I've seen so little things that people say, oh, everyone's watched this. I have not.
Well, we'll keep culturing you till you're multicultural.
Oh, sweet.
See, because my grandpa also introduced me to anime.
Oh, that is so cool.
That is
Grandma,
dope.
Yeah, he
What's the first anime you saw?
so call me a basic bitch.
Basic bitch.
But yeah, it was Dragon Ball Z. Well, Dragon Ball.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And yeah, that it went from that to what? I think I watched Akira for the first time. I went from that to Bleach. The list could go on and on. Like, I have a wide variety of anime now that I just watch nonstop, and it was just like, I just remember it just being so fun because me and my grandpa will have like a whole routine every morning, well, every weekend because he has to work, but he'll like have me go all the way upstairs into the boom boom room.
The what?
The
boom boom
what?
The what?
The what?
Please explain.
Please explain. We are now very concerned.
So,
But yet most curious.
okay,
Yes,
so you have your living room, you have your dining room. The boom boom room is the room in a house that pretty much was like the entertainment.
Oh, so it's kind of like a rec room.
Yeah, and it was like, that's where if you was to play any like loud music on speakers or anything right there, or play the game or anything, that's where you would do it.
Okay.
Ah.
And yeah,
My mind went in a different direction with that. Sure. Sorry.
she cuts.
Shit casting? Yes.
But yeah, the boom boom room. Yeah, pretty much he'll have me go up there. He'll go to the store the night before and get us some pork rinds, And like we would just sit there and just eat pork rinds while either watching anime or some random old time horror film or something, and it was just like it was a good experience. Like that's something that I would always remember.
I think as far as cartoons go, the further I go back, the more memorable times I still can remember fondly and more clearly. Courage the Cowardly Dog. You've got Cat Dog.
Cat dog.
Cat Dog.
Kurdan is cat dog.
Yeah.
Arnold. You've got Doug. Oh, Doug.
I just
Rugrats?
realized
Rugrats.
Hey Arnold was the Stewie Griffin before Stewie had his incident.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What was the incident exactly?
He was jumping on a bed and he hit the ceiling.
Oh, his head flattened.
Yeah.
Or got misshapen. Football head.
Oof.
Theory. Let's play the X-Files song.
Oh, you don't like that song.
Oh, that scares me.
It does.
I swirl. I
Safety
swirl in
swirl?
spot. I safety swirl a lot when I hear that song.
Yeah.
But there is a lot that I can remember, and it's always positive memories when I look back at old cartoons, old shows that nowadays many parents still object to play on during primetime television. Maybe at night they might get away with it, like past 9 p.m., where kids are you're supposed to be in bed. But now we live in a day and age where kids have a TV in their room anyway, so you could perhaps. What are you doing, cat?
Being a cat. Go on.
Okay. Whereas you might be able to actually look back at reruns of any show, although I doubt any of the shows I grew up with are being rerun today. Or if the last time they've ever been rerun was even 15 years ago. Though you might be able to catch a glimpse of older cartoons, older episodes of certain shows that wouldn't be played in primetime because it would offend parents.
Well, Boomerang.
Boomerang.
I love
Yeah.
Boomerang.
Not only that, it's like I only know a few stations that still like play like He-Man, She-Ra,
Really?
Brave Star. It's a few more, but yeah, it's like what I'm trying to think of what station it actually is.
Nicktoons?
Not Nicktoons, but Nicktoons is a good station that I actually forgot about. That had a lot of good cartoons. Danny Phantom was like
Danny Phantom.
that was my heart.
And the Furry Odd Parents.
Yes.
But
God.
that's just regularly
Sexual.
on Nick though.
Oh, it still is on Nick.
Yeah, like they made a reboot of it and everything.
It ended?
What?
Well, not technically.
I am surprised
in.
triangles.
Like I wouldn't say technically in, but they like they upgraded it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they added a whole new main character. Timmy is basically sharing his godparents, his fairies,
Right.
and yeah, it's
What the fuck?
it's a whole thing now.
That makes no fucking
Yeah,
sense.
like,
What's
so you're
the-
saying, like, there's, like, another main character now? Because I remember when they added the baby,
Oh
I
god.
think their name was Poof.
It was like poof or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
And I remember that confused me when I was younger, because, like, when you'd watch old episodes,
Yeah, they.
it
Poof
wasn't
wasn't
there.
there, yeah.
But then there'd be episodes where they were there, and it just blew my young mind.
Cosmo gave birth to that baby.
He was a strong man. He was a strong ass fairy.
Right. And I mean, it's like
It's also like fairies live forever. So
That
it's
too,
like,
so what would-
why would they have a reason to procreate?
And that's why in
And
that one episode.
they actually
No.
did kind of like go
Well,
explore that, to be honest.
Yeah.
they didn't. Well, it's the thing is though, Timmy wished for the god brother basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like without that wish, it wouldn't have been, another baby, because they had a whole episode where they was like, there haven't been a fairy baby in like
10,000 years or something.
right, and they was like, why haven't it? And it's just like, because nobody just didn't wish it. So it's just like, oh.
And besides,
okay.
like, fairies live like a long ass time anyway, so it's like,
right.
there's no reason.
Like I think the only way to get rid of a fairy is if you like take their wings away or something like that. If you literally take their privilege of being a fairy away.
Yeah.
Does that make them mortal, or that just makes them?
I'm not sure.
Considering they're so old, do they just disappear?
Well, I think they just like live life as like if they was a human. Because I mean, when Cosmo and Wanda got their fairy stuff taken away, they just lost the ability like to float and just like lost all magical ability
Right.
altogether. So it was like, I'm normal now. I don't really understand the logic behind it, because they just doop, I got my wings back. Back magical.
It's a fun series, but I'm starting to notice there's some inconsistencies. Although one only realizes that until now, of all times. It's still a good series, but it is fun to look at. How does that work? Why did they do this? And Cosmo had a baby. And his tum got big.
Man. Like, immediately, our
Wait.
fairies, like...
If you can, like, make a fairy normal, what would happen if, like, Cosmo was still pregnant, but then got, like, made, like, normal? How would you give birth?
You better wish that you didn't have.
Oh. Do you just, like, explode? Like, it just bursts out of your belly?
Like, because, I mean, the way that they even took out the baby, like, apparently he was screaming, like as any other normal pregnancy would.
Yeah.
But then they just poofed the baby out. So it was just like all of that was basically for nothing.
They didn't know
That's
what
so weird.
anesthetic was.
Yeah, like, I mean...
It's probably been so long that they completely forget about everything, or they did that on purpose. Like, oh, it's Cosmo. He can suffer a bit.
This is what you get
True.
for trying to be weird.
For any other fairy, we'll actually give him extra help. But for Cosmo, he's a moron. We'll let
He's a
him do it through
Yeah.
the way.
Is that what the M and MPreg stands for? Moron?
Oh, that too.
Oh, God.
I was
Oh.
actually surprised when they like just busted that out there. They was like, Timmy was so worried about Wanda like having a baby and stuff. Like he was complaining about all the hormones and stuff, and then he was like,
Mood swings.
right. And Wanda was like, you do realize that Cosmo's the one that's gonna hold the baby, right? Just like that, as it confused Timmy, it confused me as well. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, hold on, wait a second. So he's a seahorse. That's what's going on.
Oh.
Conspiracy theory.
So really,
I mean,
fairies are
seahorses.
just seahorses
Magical seahorses, yeah.
I mean, seahorses
that
do
look
that.
like people and
I mean,
fairies.
seahorses do that.
Yeah.
The male gets pregnant,
Yeah.
and then it bursts open their pregger's belly, and then all the little tiny seahorses swim out.
Pregger's
Do the
Thank you,
seahorse
Daddy.
die?
Sea people.
Nope.
No,
Ugh, that would hurt.
bro, would.
He lives to seahorse another day.
Just think. Just like,
Stop.
just like a bunch of them just...
They do that. It's
It
kinda
is.
interesting, but no, it doesn't kill them or anything.
I think very rarely does it.
It might be a rare thing, but
Right.
like it doesn't kill them. I think you can kind of say how like, I guess
That's-
how like in a lot of, well, I should say marsupials, they can carry babies in their pouch. They give birth in their pouch and they carry them in their pouch. But when you look inside, you can see the bones and the organs. It is kind of gross, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, pouches are.
Because I did see a video of someone, like, they filmed like
cartoon pouches.
like on Twitter, they just kind of filmed briefly, like, kind of the inside of a kangaroo pouch.
Aww.
And it's, like, the inside of it, and it's so weird. Because you could see, like, the cavity for, you know, the baby, and all its, like, other, like, all the organs inside, like, the mother kangaroo, and, like, the blood vessels and everything in there,
Wow.
and the bone.
That's
and
weird.
it's so interesting.
I always just imagine soft, fluffy fur everywhere.
Right.
I mean, maybe like
fluff.
kind of more on the outside.
Fluff. All just fluff.
Maybe like on the outside portion, but like on the inside, it's just a cavity.
Wow, you ruined my childhood.
Smell.
Yeah, I know. I'm
I
sorry.
used to always imagine.
That's
like,
why you need cartoon pouches.
I legit used to always imagine
That's-
like actually going inside of a kangaroo pouch though.
Now you don't want to go.
Now I don't.
That's how joeys are made. It's people who climb into the pouches.
Aw.
That makes me think of Pokemon.
Pokemons.
Like, pouches. Like, now that I know that pretty much the pouch isn't a pouch, but like a continuous.
It's just a cavity, really.
Right. It's like.
It just has a cover. It just has like a sealed off flap, basically.
It's,
I know it's weird, but
Nature be weird like that.
I feel like I am missing something about Pokemon and their reproductive habits.
I mean,
Explains.
okay, so you know how a Pokeball is. Like, you can keep a Pokemon in there all day, and it comes out, and it's just like, yeah, I'm like fully rested and
Yeah.
you know, happy and stuff. The way that you was explaining the pouch, I just thought about like just somebody just getting trapped in the Pokeball and just living there for the rest of their life. Like, you gotta catch them all, human style. Just.
but it's like it's weird because it's like they don't just get squished in there. It's just they sort of
Become energy.
like energy or something. They like particulate in there.
Or
It's
like
almost like a
data.
Star Trek.
Yeah,
So it's like they can be put in a PC box.
but then it's like you're
They
getting into
become data.
Digimon territory.
Like, they legit become data, right?
unless
Or some kind of.
unless Pokemon
plasma.
is the original Digimon.
Or
That
maybe
too.
Digimon are just
Oh, and-
undiscovered Pokemon.
Or Digimon's just a complete ripoff.
I mean, well, I feel like in technicality, like Digimon would be like if in the Pokemon world they just like they was too poor to actually afford Pokeballs and catch a Pokemon, and it was like
What the fuck?
And just stick with me here.
But I'm pretty sure the thing is though with Digimon, it's like it takes place in a different like world. I think it actually takes place in our actual world. It's just there's like these monsters that you can store digitally, and they talk. They don't just say their names, they actually talk. And they turn into giant kaiju and fight each other.
See, that's the thing. I honestly feel like
Pokemon's more like nature, and it's its own like world and setting and everything.
true.
And then there's those two douchebags who try to who really want Pikachu for questionable reasons.
No,
I mean,
no,
one
no,
of
no,
them-
that's
Jesse and James.
James. There we go.
I mean, like, James is probably gay, and Jesse's like... Actually, they're both gay, honestly.
Yep.
They're their own respective
They
gay.
enjoy cross-dressing.
They do.
I mean, you would think
James is a queen.
Yes.
you would think after how many countless times that they just been shot into the air,
Team Rocket is blasting off again.
right?
Ding.
Why aren't any legs or arms broken on these two, and Meowth as well? Like they get sent into the atmosphere, and I'm pretty sure they crash land down.
Wasn't Meowth a Pokemon though?
Yeah,
He's
well,
a Pokemon, but like
He
the Team
talks.
Rocket's Meowth is the one that talks.
Oh, okay.
Which is even more.
Which
Interesting.
actually kind of fits into the argument that they're both gay because, you know, gay people have cats all the time, so.
True.
Oh! We
um,
just, whiz kids, we just discovered your secret.
It's funny how Meowth actually got the ability to talk, because in all technicality, every Pokemon has like the ability
They
to
can
Say their name.
speak.
They can speak. It's just like they say their name, basically the name
Yeah.
of what they are,
Because I mean,
or just
Meowth-
make noises.
True. Because I don't know, Meowth like literally, like his backstory of how he was able to talk was like he started out as any other Meowth,
Right.
but then he wanted to impress.
I can't remember actually. It's
Like I don't know, like he wanted to impress this fancy cat Pokemon. I can't remember exactly.
A Persian,
what it
right?
was. Yeah, Persian, and like he said that it was a painful process, but he eventually got to it. And when he went to talk to the Persian, because the Persian only like human traits apparently,
Right.
it was like, okay, so now you could talk, so you're a freak now, and you're not rich or anything, so you can't
Oh.
take care of me as like a owner or anything. So
Oh.
Wow.
He got denied.
yeah, he got denied, and then he went on a depressed spree, and he found Team Rocket.
Didn't they make a new Netflix exclusive Pokemon movie?
They got a few actually.
Like recently, though, it was one that came out. I thought
I'm not
within
sure.
the last year to
Oh,
6
wow.
months.
I know the only Pokemon movie that honestly was big was Detective Pikachu.
Oh
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Which I
that's
haven't
like the
seen
most
yet.
recent one.
But
far as I
animated
know.
though, animated movie.
Animated wise, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm
I haven't
pretty
been
sure
keeping
there's a
up with the
Netflix-
head.
There was Deoxys, there was Lucario, obviously.
Lucario's another one that could just talk. I mean,
Yeah.
granted,
Isn't it
and-
telepathically?
It's like
Yeah.
Aura.
Yeah, it's telepathic because he has like aura powers and he can shoot blue balls.
I was wrong.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a power.
That's
That's a power
That's why
and
his
mood.
pants are always on.
That's a powerful mood right there.
Let me fire my blue balls at you,
Mew as well.
Mew.
Mew.
Mhm.
Which I don't.
No, I don't
understand
think
that.
Mew. I think Mewtwo though.
Mewtwo. He always.
But
He
he
was
was
the first
more-
Pokemon that could speak
But he was created like artificially.
genetically. Yeah.
I don't understand
Artificially.
that though. Mewtwo claimed that he's the creator of all Pokemon. How is that so when you was created and alive yourself?
Well, he was based off of like a Mew, so that's
Yeah,
why
He
he's
thinks
Mewtwo.
that because he was
But he's
created beyond the
brainwashed.
powers of God, that if something can be created, you must be like a godlike figure. Well, if you've been created out of the ether and there was no one else like you before, I can see a mentality where you can assume that you are the emperor of everything around you, perhaps, but with his immediate ability to talk
Mm-hmm.
without learning,
Oh well, yeah.
and his intellect probably allowed him to believe that at this point he was created by man, he could destroy them and destroy anything in his path.
That's fair because I mean,
I think Mew can talk telepathically to other Pokemon, but then again, you have to imagine between other normal Pokemon, they must have some form of basic telepathy of what they're understanding, or it's kind of like with wolves. You see how wolves communicate with each other just by grunts, noises, snarls, whatnot. So there's a basic common language that they can understand quite well.
yeah.
You have to wonder with Pokemon, they would have something similar that can communicate just as well. I'm sure Mew could probably do it telepathically, almost direct into what it's kind of like cheating, except you're still doing it telepathically. I think Mewtwo is still telepathically.
Mewtwo is more telepathic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Kind of
So-
like with the Lucario.
So speaking physically for Pokemon, except Meowth is the only one physically able to talk, and then there's Entei.
Oh yeah.
Entei
Entei?
had
I don't know that.
had telepathy and could talk. That's fun.
That is fun.
There's a lot of stuff that I've not ever considered for decades until, oh yeah, never thought of it that way. Is there any?
That there is in like Red and Blue, when you have the house of like whoever was trying to do like that like Pokemon teleporter thing, and he like accidentally like merged with a Pokemon or something. He was still able to talk, and I guess would you count that as like a Pokemon talking or not really because
He was human,
yeah.
so he is given the ability to talk because he knows how to talk. That is interesting. It's kind of like with Entei. Entei was originally a human being, and then he became Entei, or something. It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
I was gonna say I have not heard of this, but I am interested.
Because the little girl always called. Oh, okay. I think. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to discuss more into it because the way how I'm thinking of it just breaks my brain. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Although I think Entei is the spiritual successor to a human being whose daughter refers to him as Papa. And then this Entei creature has some kind of subconsciousness with her father or something. Yeah, it's weird. I'm trying to make sense of it, and then it's a movie, and it's not maybe meant to make much more sense than it should. Ugh. Is there anything else we would like to discuss?
Sleep.
I
I
Yeah.
like to discuss sleep.
Kurdan wants to sleep.
Are you say you're in the sleep fandom?
Yeah.
Do you have a sleep sauna?
Yeah, I have a sleep sauna.
What is it?
It's in the shape of a bed,
It's the shape of a bed.
so I can get slept upon.
Aww.
But,
That- That sounds really good sometimes. Like
It's a weird TF fetish.
it could be.
I just want
Oh,
to fucking
lay
sleep
on me.
and then just transform into a bed.
Yeah. I love when people lay on me and cover me with sheets. But no, I worked a full day today. On my day off, mind you, 9 hours.
You were Bill Lumberged by your
I was.
manager.
I'm gonna have to ask you to go ahead and come in on Sunday too.
Oh no.
We lost some people this week, so we
Have to play catch up.
have to play catch up. Cats up.
you at least get overtime, or
Oh yeah,
that's good.
yeah. I've got a total of like
It's a penny extra an hour.
18 or 17 hours overtime. This
Oh hell yeah!
Fuck.
I mean,
weeks.
the working extra sucks, but
It does,
there
but
you have the money.
I only take a half an hour break when we're supposed to take an hour lunch. But we only have to clock out for a half an hour, so I'm like,
Fuck it.
I'll take that and I'll just stay an extra half hour, so I get an extra hour each day.
Hey, that works pretty well.
It does. It adds up nicely.
You don't have any more, I guess I call it physical time working.
Yeah. Because they keep us there for 9 hours. I'm like, if you're going to keep me here for 9 hours, I'm working and getting paid for 9 hours.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I work today and I get to work again tomorrow.
Boo!
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast. But then 2020 is just a strange beast in itself.
It is interesting.
So I say let's probably end this here.
Yeah.
So who would like to sound off?
Sounding off.
To finish the episode.
So I'm Kurdan Sourpuss. Thanks for tuning in. It was great having everybody here. And we'll see you on the next episode.
And our other guests.
Or our other guests.
I'm Ricky again.
Hello, Ricky.
It's Timburr. It was nice to be here.
Woo!
And I am Lilia Roo, and I'm trying to think of like the PBS Kids ending thing where it's like, thank you, the viewer, for watching.
The more you know.
But like, thank you, the listener, for listening. So, thank you, listener, for listening.
And I am your host, Dustin DaHusky. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. Quite something special. And hopefully this upcoming Tuesday we can do it again. So, until then, good evening.